don't know if we remember that the term tryst entered the Indian political vocabulary in Jawaharlal Nehru's famous speech on the night of 15th of August 1947. And what he said on that occasion is that we make a tryst with ourselves and with humanity at large. And that remained for us the basic principle on which our state was developed. And therefore, when it came to writing the Constitution of India, its first page, which spells out the preamble to the document, lists out 4 principles: justice, equality, liberty, and fraternity. Now, the last 75 years or so, we have moved in some measure towards the achievement of the first 3 of these objectives. Somewhere we have done well, somewhere we are still lagging behind. But one area where we have singularly failed to make any progress is with that last word of the preamble: fraternity. And what does fraternity mean? In simple language, it means bhaichara. I have no document that I have come across which in any serious sense spells out what does the Indian state commit itself to the promotion of fraternity. And because the state doesn't commit itself, the public does not commit itself. We all know as individuals that brotherhood begins, or sisterhood begins at home, and from there to the neighbors, and then to the larger neighborhood. And because we do not pay any attention to it, the agenda which the learned editors of this series of books spelled out, the existing agenda and the future agenda, will always remain unfinished. Because how do we pursue it if we do not have any kind of practical impact in our daily lives? There was a poet by the name of Raghupati Rai Farak. He said it all in one couplet. हम भी दुश्मन से हो गए अपने, हम भी दुश्मन से हो गए अपने, आपने जब से दोस्ती कम की. So the reality of our society is that दोस्तियां कम होती जा रही हैं. भाई भाई में दोस्ती कम हो रही है, पड़ोसी पड़ोसी में दोस्ती कम हो रही है, और नई नई चीजें सोसाइटी में इंट्रोड्यूस की जा रही है बगैर सोचे समझे. तो जो टाइटल था पंडित जी की स्पीच का, और हमारे प्रीएम्बल का, उसका आखिरी शब्द जो है fraternity, we do not practice it. And because we do not practice it, we are not able meaningfully to preach it to the world outside. And that is reflected in what has been said this evening on foreign policy and the relations with the wider world. Do we have good relations with our neighbors? If we do not have relations with neighbors, how do we expect to have relations with distant neighbors? Those whom we hear about or never see them. That is the difficulty. And somewhere we have to focus on returning to the fundamentals. And in the fundamentals, yes, justice is important, equality is important, but fraternity is equally important. That is what we need to do. Another poet had summed it all up rather nicely. ऐ दोस्त तूने तर्क मोहब्बत के बावजूद, ऐ दोस्त तूने तर्क मोहब्बत के बावजूद महसूस की है मेरी जरूरत कभी कभी. So, the promotion of good relations, whether in society or in foreign relations, has to move on certain basic principles. And this is what we should be doing, we are not doing. I do not want to dilate on it further, because what we are not doing has been impressed, talked about this evening in good measure. But we have to go back to doing what we should be doing. If we were a model to the world, do we remain a model to the world? I'm afraid not. Jai Hind.